How's practice?
It was good. It was. I just told him afterwards it was more competitive than yesterday and more competitive than last week.
We saw Lath back out there. He is in blue. How's he doing?
Yeah, he's doing well. He was hitting the sled today and had a little bit more contact, so he's about as close as you could be without playing.
I don't think we saw Heath or Turner Bradshaw. Were they out there?
Yeah, he's out today. Zay was out there.
Okay.
He's on defense. He had a penny on. He was playing both sides, so he was out there.
Speaking of with Heath and Turner Bradshaw at the slot, is Aiden Green really transformed into being that guy outside slot guy that?
Yes. Yeah, he's kind of the guy after Jay Lane right now. Can play that slot for us.
And we saw a lot of, I think, last few weeks, seeing Wiggins, Adams travel. How close are you to getting them out?
Yeah, we start into that 4-game mode, next week, and those guys have been working at special team spots, and they've been getting reps on the offensive field. So, I think those guys, those two, Gabe Williams, Josh Clark, those guys are probably the closest to being able to help us.
Didn't realize until these guys pointed out Georgia Tech has only given up 3 sacks, I think, this year. What do they do to make it so difficult to get back there?
I think they protect well. I think they get rid of the ball pretty quick, and I think their quarterbacks, both of them, but particularly Haynes, they're hard to kind of strap down. They do a nice job of getting out of there.
Is that, if they get rid of the ball quick like that, does that change how you guys have to rush the passer?
It does. It changes your mindset a little bit. You still have to get them to 3rd and longs. They are a team, that would be the other thing, they've stayed on schedule more often than not. And so on, 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4, they're a team that's just as likely to run it as throw it.
Did Notre Dame give you a blueprint for what to do?
Notre Dame did a nice job. Yeah, they did. They had a good plan. They played well. They executed. They made them earn most things. So it was good film.
One thing last year with, I think, with Georgia Tech and King was there was a lot of turnovers. This year they've really limited the turnovers. I think they've only lost 1 fumble and thrown 3 interceptions. What have you seen them do well in terms of being able to protect the ball?
Yeah, the quarterback makes good decisions, and then I think the backs have, they got good ball security. They really do. They run with it high and tight.
We've seen Schlee on a couple of occasions go in there. Is that always a tough balance to try to figure out when to insert a guy like that? Because obviously you got Kyron. You don't necessarily want to take Kyron out of the game, but try to work it into the rhythm of the offense. It
is, because you'd love to see the guy have opportunity more than he's getting. But you don't take a guy like Drones off the field to put him in. So it's 2 quarterback plays, which you can have a handful of them, but you're not going to have a ton of them. He works and prepares like a starter all the time. When his number's called, he'll be as ready as anybody could be.
Is that the timing of those times? When you put 2 quarterbacks out there, I'm sure the opposing defense is very alert to everything that can go on.
Correct. So you got to have enough of a decoy. That even though he's in there, he's not getting the ball. He's not, and then when he is, you hope it's a little bit, where they're not just dialed in on it. So, it's a little challenging, but he's a pretty versatile guy. He's got an incredible attitude, really does.
We're talking to Burgos here in a second. How's he done this season in Nebraska?
Done really well. I'd say a couple things about him. He's really a co-starter, with Cole. He plays as many snaps as Cole and APR does for the most part. He's got one of the best motors on the team. If you watch the film, he's constantly getting in on plays from behind. That's how he got that fumble recovery. He was the backside guy chasing the ball. He's constantly trying to improve his game. He does a ton of extra film and meetings. He's got a strong desire to be really good. I think he's significantly improved over last year to this point right now.
Yes, asked you a bunch about Keller yesterday and the 2 practices since. What have you seen out of him in terms of?
Yeah, he's done well. Yeah, I think he has some confidence. Those guys are, they really work great together. Kelly, Sam, J.K., Caleb. They really support each other. They help each other make adjustments. They're a good group.
Lawson getting close to being fully healthy where we can see?
I think this is probably the healthiest he's been in quite a while. Yes.
One or two more.
Asked JC about APR, and he said that obviously your message, tell them to come back and be better. APR, he said, has been practicing harder and has been more vocal. Is that kind of what you've seen this year from APR that's different?
Absolutely. I think he's worked harder at technique, particularly in the run game, than last year. You know, last year was abilities and skills, and not that he didn't practice hard. There's been more purpose in how he practices and things he wants to be better at, for sure.
You've been around some pretty good pass rushers throughout your time. Is there anyone he reminds you of, or is he kind of set as a different mold?
You know, we've had a lot of long guys with length. We've had a couple of truly undersized guys. You know, he's built a little bit like a decade ago Mike linebacker. You know, he's broad, he's got good stature, he's got good build on him. He's not long, but he bends incredibly well. Can drop that shoulder. He's got good hands that kind of keep that offensive lineman off balance. You know, I can't say that there's somebody that I would really liken him to. He's got some traits like some other guys, a combination of some things. You know, he's a guy that, unlike a lot of long ends that can rush and bend, you know, he can rush and bend, but he can also fight pressure. He's got a good base, a good center. He's got good leverage. You know, and that's what he's using this year more so in the run game, especially.
As Asen Stevens and Jason Abbey, we talked to JC about it. He said they're coming on really well. What have you seen from that?
Yeah, I agree. I think both of those guys, I love seeing them get some work, that they've earned the opportunity to be out there. You know, there's still things, obviously, that they're both very raw at. You know, Asen's never played defensive end. He was a high school linebacker. He was a linebacker here for a while. You know, and you go back to last year's scout team, and Jason Abbey gave our guys fits, like all year long. I mean, you know, he showed signs back then. So, you know, they're adding some depth right now, which is important, and they're earning opportunities.